All right. It is 5:30, so it's time for us to get started, and I'm so excited that you have shown up to class tonight, set up your computer, your phone, whatever it is that you need, wherever you are, to be able to participate in class. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda McIntire, and this is the OLLI yoga class. This is a beginner class that is intended for everybody. So right now, OLLI, which is part of continuing distance education at UVM, is streaming this live for anybody who can get a hold of the link. So that's really, really cool, and I'm glad that you've made it to join me tonight. Next week, I think we're moving to a different format. So right now we're on YouTube, and I think we're going to be switching it up to Zoom. So more information to come on that, but the intention is to continue doing these Monday evening classes. And it's really important that we continue to do things like this if and when we can, right? Because we're in this time period that's really different than where we've ever been before. And I've found in talking with people that we all, of course, are having so many different kinds of experiences. But a common theme that I keep finding that's coming up with folks is this idea of connection. And I talked to some people who are feeling like so isolated, so disconnected from work or the things they were looking forward to or their family. And then there are other people who are feeling incredibly connected because they have all these new technologies, new expectations, friends and family who are lonely or bored on other parts of the country who are reaching out to them, and suddenly there's like more connection than they know what to do with. Where does yoga fit in? Well, yoga is this ancient science of wellness. It's an ancient practice. And the word yoga means yoke. It means union or connection. And the idea is this connection of the mind, the body, and the spirit that's found through breath, through meditation, and through movement. But I also find, so the idea of yoga is for helping us to connect to our truest nature. And then that typically makes us healthier and happier and makes us able to have better connections with one another. So this class is about you taking this time for yourself out of whatever it is that your life looks like presently, and just doing this one thing of yoga. And perhaps you may be connected to other people who are taking this exact same class right now. In fact, I'm sure that a lot of you are. I know some folks sent the link to their kids who live in other places, and so I've got parents, family members, friends, people from college, all that sort of thing. And of course, my folks who usually come to my in-person OLLI classes. I do miss you guys. I have you all in my mind as we practice together. So, oh yeah, and I should mention, we have had like a few hundred people show up for each of these yoga classes the past couple of weeks. What a powerful thing. Right in this moment, it isn't just you in front of your computer with your mat and hopefully a strap. It's you and a few hundred other people who are all doing the same thing. I think that that is a pretty amazing connection. So as we go through our practice tonight, be kind to yourself. Do what it is that is going to feel best in your body and in your mind tonight. If that means going a little deeper into something I'm offering up, go for it. If that means that you just want to lay down and take Shavasana like right now, that's totally fine too. This is supposed to be your time, your little oasis to connect to yourself and get some fresh energy and perspective. So do what you need to. We're going to begin, oh, and I'll mention one more time, we are going to be using a strap this evening. So if you don't happen to have an actual yoga strap, you can always grab a belt or a scarf or something like that to have for towards the end of class tonight. So let's begin by finding a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Sitting up nice and tall. Tonight I'm sitting on some blocks. You might find it more comfortable to sit on a blanket or just on your mat. You can have your knees bent, sit cross-legged or with your legs out extended. But sit up nice and tall wherever you are, extending the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, gently bringing your shoulders up by your ears and letting them nestle down on your back. Pull your stomach muscles in a little bit and create a little bit of a low back curve so you're nice and strong through the torso. Bring your hands to your knees or thighs and close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze as you settle into this seat. And take a moment, if you need to make yourself comfortable here. So if you choose one position and find that that's not quite right, make any adjustments that you need to. And then do your best to still your body as you quiet your mind. And begin to make a connection to your breath. And what I mean by that is perhaps just noticing it for the first time today. Taking a deep inhale fully, letting the lungs expand until there's no more room. And then exhaling slowly, letting all the CO2 out, pulling the belly in. And just take your time on these next few breaths, bringing your focus to the lungs, letting go of anything else outside of this moment. With each inhale, keep sitting up a little bit taller, a little bit brighter in your seat. With every exhale, let go of whatever you don't need right now and turn your focus inward. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to the different connections going on in your body right now. So you might find that connection between your toes and the mat, or your hips and the block, the connection between your hands and your thighs, maybe the connection between your closed lips or eyelids. Just notice all of those little connections, linking the energy in your body. And then bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart, another nice connection. And sit up nice and tall. We're going to begin our practice tonight by chanting the sound of Om, the sound of oneness together. And Om can be a really great connection. It can be really effective when you're in a room with other people who are Oming. But tonight you get me and you get you. So you can Om as quietly or as loudly as you would like, but know that there's all these other yogis out there who are Oming along with you. So we'll chant it just one time. Sit up nice and tall. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. Om. Release your hands and gently let your eyes flutter open. Keep sitting up nice and tall, letting the shoulders relax down on the back. Extend your arms out to the sides with your palms facing front. Stomach is still tucked in. Your shoulders are relaxed. As you inhale, float the fingertips up, take a look up. As you exhale, gently twist towards the right, bringing your right hand behind, left hand in front. Inhale, come back up to center, take a look up. Exhale, twist to the left. So right hand's in front, left hand behind. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale to reach the fingertips up. Exhale to twist to the right. If you find that you need to adjust your space, do that. Maybe your arms are hitting your bed or the wall. If you have to adjust, go for it. Otherwise, enjoy this space. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale and twist to the right. Inhale, center, and twist to the left. Last time, come back up to center. Take a look up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. As you exhale, let your arms drop down by your sides. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Again, hands are on your knees or thighs. Shoulders are rolled down on the back. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder, and then just gently let the chin drop towards the chest as you do a gentle neck roll over towards the left side. Do your best to keep your shoulders square to the front of the mat and gently work your way back over towards the right side, dropping the chin, opening up through the back of the neck, and gently bring your head back to center. Extend your right arm directly out in front of you, and again, make sure the shoulder's on the back. So sometimes we want to really reach out, but think of engagement, nice long neck. And then gently take your hands and just pull back. I'm using the inside of the knuckles here to be gentle as I'm stretching. This is opening up the top of the forearm. And then point the fingers towards the floor. Once again, right across the knuckles. Be gentle here. So if you're like, I have arthritis and I know I should not be doing this, then don't do this. Be gentle with yourself. Always tune into your body and listen to it. That's what yoga is all about. And then just extend the arm out and just do some gentle circles. And relax that down. Extend the left arm out, pointing the fingers up towards the ceiling. With the right hand, just gently pull the fingers back, opening up through the forearm. This is a great posture to do if you're someone who's on the computer a lot. And then fingertips towards the floor, hands go over the knuckles. Again, keep the shoulder down on the back. Mine was creeping up on me. Keep breathing. Release your right hand down to the thigh, and then just some gentle circles, nothing too intense. Nice. And bring your hands down to your thighs. From here, extend your legs straight out in front of you in Dandasana or staff pose. I was sitting on blocks, so I'm removing those so I can sit out nice and straight. Make sure that your weight is even between both hips. So I like to pull the fleshy part away from my sits bones to do that. Sit up nice and tall with your palms or fingertips on either side of the hips. Notice my fingers, the fingers of my feet, my toes are flexed. And if you need a little slight bend in your knees, go for it. Keep your shoulders down on the back as you inhale. Float your arms up, take a look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Let your hands connect wherever's comfortable. So if you can reach your feet, that's great. But the shins, the floor is also a nice place. Find length in your neck here, keeping the shoulders down. Keep a nice connection with your breath, making sure you can really breathe fully and completely. Reach through your fingertips. Inhale to come all the way up. Exhale and release your arms down. Bring the soles of your feet together. This is called Badakanasana, or bound angle pose, and your feet can be as close or as far away from your body as you would like. Don't worry about how far your knees are from the floor. The interest here is trying to connect the feet and connect your hands to the ankles. Sit up nice and tall with your shoulders on your back, and then a little bit of a back bend. So I'm pulling on the shins as I look up, opening up through the neck, through the collarbones, staying strong in the belly. As you exhale, release back to center, and then we're going to hinge forward at the hips, and you can let your hands walk out on the mat, and this time you can let your shoulders come up by your ears, opening up through the shoulder blades. Inhale to walk yourself back up to center, and then extend your right leg out and place the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Again, check in with your hips and make sure they're even on the floor. They tend to get a little funky when we do these asymmetrical seats. And turn your torso towards the extended leg. Keep your right hand connected to the floor here for stability. With your left arm, reach out towards the pinky toe side of the extended leg. So this helps keep the torso twisted. Keep your hips rooted here, And your hand can go wherever is comfortable. So maybe it's the shin or the ankle or the floor. Inhale to come back up to center. Bring your left hand behind you and your right hand on the bent knee. Sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, you're going to gently twist towards the left. And this left hand behind you is just for a little bit of balance. The fingertips are connected to the floor, but you're staying nice and strong in the torso. Keep your right hand on the bent knee. As you inhale, reach your left arm up overhead towards the extended foot. Keep both hips connected to the floor. Don't worry about if your left hand is touching your toes or if your toes are really far away. We're trying to open up through the left side of the body. Inhale to come back to center. Place your left hand on the floor next to the bent knee. And we're going to press into that hand, press into the left shin. My right foot is on the floor, leg is extended, right arm reaches up overhead for fallen star. So my weight is on my left hand, on my left shin, and on my right foot, and I'm reaching through my right hand, opening up the right side of the body. And then gently make your way back down onto your hips. And we'll switch sides. So extend the left leg, bring the sole of the right foot onto the inner thigh, and sit up nice and tall, making sure your hips are even. And then turn the torso towards the left leg. Keep your left hand on the floor, and the right hand reaches towards the outside of the extended leg, making a connection wherever feels most comfortable for you. With every inhale, you're lengthening your spine, and as you exhale, perhaps sinking a little bit deeper into this fold. Inhale to come back up to center. Bring your right fingertips behind you, left hand on the bent knee. Sit up nice and tall and twist towards the right. Make sure you can really breathe fully in this twist. If you're finding that your breathing is compromised, back off the twist a little bit. Keep your left hand connected to the bent knee. Inhale the right arm up overhead. Reach for the extended foot. Find space through the right side of the body. And then inhale to come back to center. All right, right hand goes on the floor. You're going to press into the right shin. Left foot is on the floor beside you. Left arm is reaching up over you for fallen star, reaching through the fingertips. And gently make your way back down to center. Nice job. All right, come onto your hands and knees in a tabletop position. And this is a nice opportunity to use a blanket or fold your mat if you find that this is uncomfortable for your knees. But we have the hips over the knees and the shoulders over the wrists. As you inhale, you're going to drop your belly and chest and take a look up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, you're going to tuck the tailbone, pull the belly button in, hollow the chest, and round the shoulders up for cat pose. Inhale again, dropping the chest and belly. It helps to bend the elbows a little bit here to get more movement. As you exhale, you're pressing into the hands, rounding the spine. And then just do some more of these in your own breath and in your own time. Maybe you want to go faster or slower. Maybe it feels good to get more movement in your body. After your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine, flat back. So that means your stomach muscles are slightly engaged. Take a look over your right shoulder. Move your right hip in the direction of your right shoulder so you're creating a C curve on the side of the body. And as you exhale, work your way to the other side. Take a look over the left shoulder, pull the left hip in. Maybe you can even see it. And come back to center. And then we'll do some circles with the hips. So moving the body forward and back, create circles, or maybe, mine's more like ovals, so yours might be ovals too. But some sort of a circular motion. And if you find a spot that feels really good, maybe give it some extra attention. And then make sure that you switch directions if you haven't already. And you can make big circles, or if it feels better to do smaller isometric circles like I'm doing right now, you can do that. All right, come back to all fours in tabletop. Bring your big toes together, let your knees be wide, and push your hips back towards your heels for child's pose. Fingertips are extended towards the top of your mat. Forehead is connected to the floor if you're able to, or maybe a block, depending on where you're at tonight. Child's pose is a great place to reconnect to yourself. You're literally very connected to the floor, but you're also turning inward, keeping everything just for you. Begin to walk your hands in towards your torso as your body lifts up. And then we're coming into Garland pose, which is a yoga squat. Now in this posture, your feet are wide and we're keeping the whole foot connected to the floor. You may be very open in the hips, in which point your hips would be lower to the floor. But if your hips or knees are not in that place tonight, you might be up a little bit higher. Wherever you are, your spine is long and you're doing what works best for your body. Bring your palms together at your heart. Stay really strong in the legs and strong in the belly here. And then bring your left hand on the inside of the left knee and reach your right fingertips up for a twist. So if you're somewhere up here, you just go just like that. And then we'll switch sides. Connect your right hand to the inside of the right leg. Reach your left fingertips up. See if you can look up towards the lifted hand. Release the left hand back down. Press into your feet and come on up to standing. Stay wide on the mat and relax your arms down by your sides. And just let your arms be heavy and start moving your hips. Let your knees be soft. And as you move your hips, let your arms kind of do their own thing. So we call this empty coat sleeves. So if you get the idea, you're wearing a coat, but you don't have your arms in the sleeves and you're twisting. Let your heels be free. A little bit of a massage for the spine. Nice. And then release the effort and just let momentum unwind you back to center. Nice job. Make your way up to the top of your mat. If you're planning on using blocks tonight, they're not required, but if you want to use them, do have them up at the top of your mat at the ready. And we'll begin, as we always do, in mountain pose or Tadasana, which is really my favorite posture. This is the posture that we always carry with us in the world. And if we can stay connected to this, we can stay connected to so many things. So check out your feet. Make sure that all four corners are pressing into the floor. Bring your hands to your hips and bring a little soft bend into your knees. Engage your calves and your thighs, and then we're going to engage the abdominal muscles. So I'm going to give you a little side view of this. See my soft bend in my knees? Stick the tailbone out. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm pulling the lower abdomen in. If you don't know where your lower abdomen is, make a connection between your hand and those muscles so you know where to pull in. It can be a little tough. So nice and strong in the low belly. Then create a neutral spine with the tailbone more towards the floor so you're locking in those upper abdominals. And then straighten the legs, releasing your arms down by your sides. So you should be really strong in the legs, strong in the core, relaxed through the shoulders as you reach up through the crown of your head. If you're not finding that sensation, feel free to move around and try to find some core engagement that works for you. Tadasana, or mountain pose, is the pivotal, this is the core posture in pretty much everything we do in yoga, this strong abdomen, this present connection to the self. So whatever you can do to be more connected to mountain pose, you can be more connected to yoga. Inhale to float the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend your knees deeply, press all the air out. Inhale up halfway to a flat back. Bring your hands to your thighs. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, press all the air out. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. This connection of movement and breath, we're going to do this a few more times so you can really get this sensation. Inhale and float the arms up. You're still really strong in the belly, still in mountain pose. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Bend your knees deeply. Let the chest press onto the thighs as you exhale the air out. Inhale to a flat back. Elbows are tucked in as you extend the crown of the head forward. Exhale, bend the knees, press all the air out, and then press into the feet. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you straighten the legs, look up towards the ceiling, connect the palms, and bring your hands to your heart. All right, one more time. Inhale, and lift up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend the knees deeply, press all the air out. Inhale up halfway to a flat back, hands on the thighs. Exhale, bend the knees deeply one more time. And then inhale, arms come all the way up. And bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment and bring your thumbs to your sternum to your thumbs as you just check in with yourself, making this connection of your energy, your body, and your mind. Notice what you're feeling like right now. And then release your hands and open your eyes. Nice work. All right, find yourself up at the top of your mat. Clasp your hands behind you. Press the knuckles towards the floor as you open the chest up towards the ceiling. So my hands are like this, a little connection in the back. Stay strong in the core here, so keep that lower belly tucked in as you exhale. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. Move the hands away from the body. Let the head relax. Release your hands. Maybe let the blood flow come back into the fingers if you were clasping tightly. And then bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come on up to standing. Find that mountain pose once again that I talked about, Tadasana. So you're pressing into the feet and standing up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your hips. And then I invite you to notice this connection between your feet and the floor. This is a really powerful connection because this is how we get around in the world, is this connection between our feet and the earth or wherever we are. And we often don't even notice it or recognize it. So notice it now. Feel the firm support of the floor beneath you. Make sure you're feeling nice and strong in the legs, engaged. And then we're going to start to rock forward and back. So coming forward up on the toes, and then gently lowering the heels and tipping back, lifting the toes up off of the mat. You can do this in your own time and in your own best way. For some of us, this might be very challenging. We're going to rock back and forth. Heels, toes. And think about this idea of getting a little bit of a massage with your feet on the floor here as we rock. We're stretching the feet, but we're also pressing them into the floor. All right, one more round. Coming up on the toes. And back on the heels. And then release. Nice work. All right, come on up to the top of your mat if you're not there already and find mountain pose. Feel the connection between your feet and the floor. Extend the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, float your fingertips up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward, Uttanasana, or forward fold. Backs of the legs are as straight as they can be, but if you need a bend in them, goodness, do that. Let your head be relaxed and let the hands connect to something. So maybe it's the floor, your shins. This can be a nice place for a block as well. But let the head relax. Gently shake the head yes and no. Bring your fingertips down to the floor or blocks and step your right foot back to a lunge. So you might need to bend the knees deeply here to do this. I like using blocks because the floor seems very far away from me, and I like to have space between my ears and shoulders. So if you don't have blocks, options are to be up on your fingertips, on your palms, if your hands reach. And staying really strong in the legs helps here because we're trying to avoid pouring our weight into the hands. We're utilizing the legs and the abdominals. Extend through the crown of the head and through the back heel. And then gently make your way back to plank, top of a push-up. Now you can step the left leg back if you want to, or you can drop the right knee if that feels more comfortable. But we're going to end up in the top of a push-up. So shoulders are over your wrists, legs are straight, your core is engaged. So this is just like mountain pose that we just did. Lower belly's tucked in, ribs are tucked in. Think about the tailbone pointing towards your heels. And be looking out ahead of your mat so the back of your neck is nice and long. Couple more breaths, hang in there. You're welcome to drop your knees whenever you want, but otherwise take advantage of this plank pose. Lower your knees, point your toes, and with the strength of your arms, lower your torso all the way down to the mat so you're laying on your belly. Bring the legs together and keep your toes connected to the floor. Hands are underneath your shoulders. You're strong in the belly. As you exhale, gently peel your chest up off the mat for baby cobra or Bhujangasana. Are you breathing? Keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale to lower yourself back down. Tuck your toes. We're going to work our way back to downward facing dog. You can go through tabletop or through plank, but you're going to end up with your hands shoulder width apart or wider, feet or hips distance apart, and you're pressing your hips up and towards the back of the room. All right, take a look at your hands. You're going to step your right foot forward to a lunge. Now, one option is to drop the knee and step the foot forward. Another option is to use your hand to guide it, or perhaps you can step your foot all the way forward. But wherever you're at, find yourself in a solid, legit lunge. So if you have to do some wiggling and maneuvering to get there, that's totally fine. Extra bonus of practicing by yourself to figure that out. Except for you're not by yourself because you're with me and all these other people watching. All right, are you in your lunge? Cool. So the left hand is going to go to the floor or a block. Right fingertips are going to reach up towards the ceiling for a twist. Both feet are connected to the floor. Left hand is connected to the block or the floor, but you're really strong in the legs. Exhale your right hand back down. And then kick off the back foot. Come on up to the top of your mat to a forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. And bring your hands to your heart. Whew, nice job. That was the first half of a sun salutation, which means there's a whole other side to do. Aren't we lucky? And you know that stepping forward into a lunge towards the very end, that's one of the most challenging portions of a sun salutation. So be kind to yourself. This is just a practice and do the best that you can. Yay, second side. Find yourself in mountain pose. Feel your feet connected and rooted. Extend the crown of your head skyward. As you inhale, float the arms up. Take a look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. This time we'll step the left foot back to a lunge. Hands are connected to the floor or to blocks. And for those of you who may be using blocks or maybe are new to blocks, remember that they're three-dimensional, so you can always have them at whatever height works best for you in any moment. All right, make your way back to plank, top of a push-up. Stay nice and strong here. Pull in at the abdominals. And if you have been waiting for the plank portion tonight, here we are. And if you want a little extra challenge, you're welcome to float your right toes off the mat a little bit. If you do that, make sure you stay really strong in plank. And if you're like, I don't know why I would want to do that, sounds like you're doing your plank right, so stay steady where you are. If your right foot is lifted, lower it, and switch to the left foot. Remember, you're always welcome to come down on your knees if you need to. Make sure that you're breathing, really being kind to yourself. If your left foot is lifted, lower it, and then everyone bring yourself all the way down to the floor. You can lower down in one straight line or drop the knees first. Release your arms down by your sides. Palms are facing up. Squeeze your legs together. Engage your abdominal muscles here. So pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone. As you exhale, lift everything you can up off the floor. So chest, fingertips, toes. Make sure you can still breathe. On your next exhale, lower back down and place your right cheek on the mat. Feel the connection between your chest and the floor, maybe feeling your heart beating against the mat. If it feels good here, you can windshield wiper the legs, which means bending the knees and gently letting them rock from side to side. Come to stillness with the legs, and then turn your head towards the left side, or placing the left cheek on the mat, look towards the right. And you can enjoy this moment of stillness, or you're welcome to, again, wiggle the hips or windshield wiper the legs. And come to stillness with the legs. Bring your head back to center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. We're making our way back to downward dog. You can go through table or you can push up through plank. It's up to you. But we're going to end up with the hands planted, the hips pressing up and back. And when you get into this down dog, pedal your feet out. So alternate, bringing each heel a little closer to the floor, moving the hips. All right, come to stillness with the legs. Take a look at your hands, and we're going to step the left foot forward to a lunge. Again, use any assistance that might make that feel more accessible for you, and find yourself in a lunge. Right hand comes to the floor or a block as you reach the left fingertips up for a twist. Keep the shoulders stacked, back leg is as straight as it can be. And your front knee is aligned with the front ankle, so be really kind to your knees here. Exhale to lower the left hand back down. Kick off the back foot, come forward to a forward fold. And then bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms wide, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Once again, close your eyes, bringing your thumbs to your sternum, sternum to your thumbs, connecting to yourself. Appreciating that sun salutation that you just did the whole thing with all these other people. Maybe it was your first one. Release your hands and open your eyes. Find yourself up at the top of your mat. Find mountain pose again. So make sure your feet are rooted, legs are active, and core is strong as you stand up nice and tall. Bring your awareness to your left foot and begin to pour your weight into it as you start to relieve the weight from the right foot. And come on up to your right toe. Nice. Now, this might be plenty for you tonight. And if it is, awesome. Keep working on it. If you are feeling a little bit steadier and you want to try getting some space between your foot and the floor, we're lifting the knee up in front of us. If you are able to get your knee up to hip height, do that and stand up nice and tall. Wherever you're at, make a connection between your hands and the lifted leg. So if you're able to lift the knee, bring it around the shins and make that connection to stand up nice and tall. If your foot is closer to the floor, bring your hands to your thigh. Nice job. Notice how this extra connection to ourself makes this feel a little bit more stable, a little more sturdy. Bring your hands to your hips and gently step your right toes back to a high lunge. So if you take a couple of steps, that's cool. But in a high lunge, our back heel is lifted. Back leg is straight. We're bending into the front knee and it's lined up with the front ankle. Nice. Release your arms down by your sides. Palms are facing straight ahead and your crown is lifted up towards the ceiling. This is a great place to open up through this right quad and hip flexor. So if you want to scoot your right toes back more, you're welcome to. Inhale and float the arms up. Notice how your balance is challenged here. Keep hugging in at the thighs. Bring your hands together at your heart. And on an inhale, we're going to open up towards the left side. That means your right hand's in front of you, left hand's behind you. On an exhale, come back to center, hands at your heart. Nice. Bring your hands to your hips, press into the front foot, come on up to the top of your mat, and shake it out a little bit. If you notice after we do these one-legged balance postures that the leg you were standing on feels really heavy, that's awesome. That's a weight-bearing exercise, and so that's part of why it ends up making your leg feel like it's heavier and more compressed. So that's a good thing. All right, find your mountain pose. Feel the connection between your right foot and the floor. Begin to shift your weight, coming up on the left toe. And begin by making sure you can stand up nice and tall wherever you're at. Remember mountain pose. It's in every posture. Staying strong and steady in the right leg. See if maybe you can create some space between your left foot and the floor. If you can't tonight, don't worry about it. And then let's find a connection between the hands and the lifted leg. So maybe it's around the shin, maybe you're somewhere a little closer to the floor. But wherever you're at, you're standing up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your hips. Gently step your left toes back to a high lunge. And make any adjustments you need to make this lunge nice and solid. Your feet should be hip width apart. And so you should feel like you're more on railroad tracks rather than on a tightrope. Scoot your back toes back more if you want to open up this left hip. Front knee is aligned with the front ankle. Release your fingertips down by your sides. Palms facing straight ahead. Nice. Inhale, float the arms up. Take a look up. Stay strong in the belly, strong in the thighs. That'll help you stay more steady here. On an exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Nice job. As you inhale, we'll open out to the right side for a twist. Thumbs are up, left hand is in front, right hand is behind. On an exhale, come back to center. Nice work. Bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot, come on up to the top of your mat, shake it out a little bit. All right. Where are we at? Okay, excellent. Come to a wider stance on the mat. You can be in the middle, up towards the front, it doesn't matter. But notice how my feet are right off the edges of the mat. Toes are at a 45-degree angle. Come on into a squat. So we're lining up the toes and the knees. Core is engaged, my tailbone's pointed towards the floor. Bring your arms up to 90 degrees. Feel the connection between your feet and the floor. Feel your weight actively pressing into the feet as you extend the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Staying really strong and steady in the legs, gently twist over towards the right side. So we're moving just the upper body. You might need to think about pulling this left hip back. Exhale back to center. And then other side. Twisting towards the left. Maybe you need to pull this right hip back to keep it square. Come back to center. Bring your hands to your hips. Straighten your legs. Bring your feet so that they're parallel to the edges of the mat. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Release your hands to wherever is comfortable. Maybe that's the mat or a block. Let your head relax. Both legs are straight here, and we're trying to keep the hips aligned over the ankles. Bring your right hand to a block or the floor and reach your left fingertips up for a twist. Keep the belly nice and snug, stacking the shoulders. Notice the connection between your right hand and whatever it's on, maybe it's the floor or a block. See if you can pour the weight from that hand into the connection you have with your feet and the floor. Lower the left hand down and switch sides. Left hand goes to the floor or a block, right fingertips lift. And you can be looking at the floor, the sidewall, or up towards your lifted hand. Exhale to lower the hand back down once again. Fold all the way forward. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come on up to standing. Nice. All right, it's time to go down. So come on to a seat on your mat. Excellent. Come on up to the top of your mat. Knees are bent and toes are right up at the very top. Bring your hands behind your thighs and sit up nice and tall. Keep the shoulders on the back. Keep the stomach nice and strong. Gently tip back and see if you can get your feet off of the floor for boat pose or Navasana. Now this is a core posture, so you're supposed to be taking the weight and the strength in your abdominals. This might be plenty, or if you want a little added challenge, bring your shins to parallel. Maybe you want to free your hands from behind the thighs. Wherever you are, make sure you're breathing, that the shoulders are relaxed, and that you're being kind and encouraging to yourself. Are you breathing? Make sure you are. As you exhale, come to a cross-legged seat. Sit up nice and tall and bring your palms together in a connection in front of your heart. Just take a few full, deep breaths here. In yoga, we have the connection of the mind, the body, and the spirit through the physical practice of asana, through the breath work of pranayama, and through the meditation that we do in the beginning and the end. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little more connected to yourself. Release your hands, open your eyes, and make your way onto your back. As I mentioned, this would be a great opportunity for a strap. If you do not have a yoga-specific strap, which is totally fine, this is a great place to use a belt, a scarf, a dog leash, a necktie, and I came up with all kinds of things you could use. The final thing, if you don't have any of those things, is to take a bath towel and roll it up the long way so that you have something to create more space. All right, so we're laying on our backs. Knees are bent and feet are flat on the floor, and feet are about hips distance apart and parallel. Hopefully you have a strap or something like that. If you don't, no worries, you can still participate. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Take the strap and place it around the bottom of the right foot as you extend it up towards the ceiling. Gently pull down on each end of the strap as you press the heel of your foot up towards the sky. The left knee is still bent with the left foot on the floor. That provides a little extra stability, a little more connection here. Gently pull the leg a little bit closer towards the body using the strap. And as you do that, think about pressing the thigh away from your body. This is opening up through the back of the knee. Now, as we're doing this, if you're thinking to yourself, this is a really bad idea because I know that my knee has, I have a new knee and I shouldn't be doing this, then don't do it. Use your own body wisdom, and if you know that your PT would not like you doing this, then please don't. Or do something a little more gentle. All right, extend the left leg straight out on the mat. Take the straps into your left hand. Extend your right arm out to a T. Keep your shoulders connected to the floor as you gently guide your right leg across the body for a twist. Now remember, you're in control here. You've got this strap in your hand. You decide if your hand is close or far away from the foot. And if you don't have a strap, you can always just be using your hand around the thigh or the calf, wherever you can reach. So you can definitely still do this without a strap. All right, right leg is across the body, shoulders are connected to the floor. If it feels good, turn your head towards your right hand. With every exhale, sinking a little bit deeper. Inhale and guide the leg back up to center. And then make any adjustments you need to make sure that the shoulders are nestled down on the back and that your spine is nice and long. Take the straps into the right hand. Extend your left arm out for stability, so find a nice connection with that left arm. And using the strength of your right arm with control, open the right leg out to the side. Keep the left hip rooted here. So if you find that your left hip is starting to lift, back off on the right leg. Both hips and both shoulders are connected to the floor. And if it feels good, you can turn your head towards your left hand. Keep some engagement in the left foot. As you inhale, guide the leg back up to center, taking each end of the strap in either hand once again. Press the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, opening up the back of the leg. And then get nice and strong in the belly here. So pretend like you're in mountain pose and you're pulling in your lower belly, tucking the ribs in. Again, feel free to make a connection between your hands and your abs if you need to. So nice and strong in the belly. As you exhale, lift the head and shoulders and chest up off the mat. This should be really easy on the neck. Exhale to lower back down. Remove the strap from the bottom of the right foot and lower the right leg down to the floor next to the left. And when your right leg connects to the mat, just relax everything, especially from the hips down, and just notice your legs here as they connect to the floor. You might find that the connection and the feeling is different on each side because of the sequence we just did. Bend your knees, placing both feet on the floor. Bring your left knee in so that the strap goes around the bottom of the foot. Straighten the leg so that the left foot is up towards the ceiling. And you have each strap in either hand. Gently pull on the strap as you press the foot up towards the sky. And then gently pull the foot a little closer towards the body as you press the thigh away from your belly. Nice and strong here, extend your right leg out on the mat, keeping the right foot flexed so both legs are engaged. Take the straps into the right hand, left arm goes out to a T with control. Guide the left leg across the body. Try to keep the shoulders connected. Feel free to adjust your right hand on the straps, however makes this most accessible for you. And you can either be looking up towards the ceiling or turn your head towards your left hand. Use your breath here, anywhere that you're feeling any tightness or intensity. Send your breath there. Inhale to guide the leg back up to center. Both feet are flexed, hips and shoulders are rooted. Make sure the shoulders are nestled down on the back. Straps go into your left hand as the right arm goes out to a T. Use the strength of your left arm to open the leg out to the side, keeping the right hip rooted. If it feels good, you can turn your head towards the right hand. Inhale and bring the leg back up to center one more time. Take the straps in each hand. Again, make sure your abdominal muscles are engaged. It helps to press the low back into the floor. Pull the abdominals and tuck the ribs. On an exhale, lift your shoulders and head up off the mat using the strength of your core. Nice. Exhale to gently lower back down. You can take the strap, remove it from your foot and set it off to the side. Gently lower your left leg down to meet the right. When it connects to the floor, let it relax and just notice if the legs feel different now, if they're more evened out. Walk your feet in towards your body and bring your knees in towards your chest. Gently rock from side to side or front to back for a little extra massage of the spine. And from here, we're going to move into our final resting posture of Shavasana. And for Shavasana, you have three options. One option is to have the feet wide towards the edges of the mat and let the knees fall in on one another. This is supposed to be pretty effortless for the legs, so you might have to scoot around to determine what feels best for you. So option one is wide feet with the knees together. Option two is called Badakanasana. That's with the feet together and the knees wide. reclined bound angle pose. And for a traditional version of Shavasana, the legs are extended straight out on the mat with the feet mat width apart and parallel. So I'm going to sit up for the rest of our practice, but please find the Shavasana that is most comfortable for you tonight. This is meant to be the final integration of all of this effort that you've put into your practice. So if you need to use a blanket underneath your knees, maybe try a different option from last week to be more comfortable, do that. This is the culmination, so please find Shavasana and don't think that we're done yet, because we're not quite done. So in whatever version your legs are at, your shoulders are gently nestled down on the back. Your arms are extended down by your sides with your palms face up. And let yourself just really take up some space here. So let the backs of your hands be connected to the floor off of the mat. Close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze and feel this connection between your body and the floor. Depending on the position your body's in, maybe it's the soles of your feet and your hips and upper body. Maybe it's your pinky toes and the outside of your ankle bone with your knees wide. Or maybe you're in a full Shavasana with the heels connected, the sits bones and the shoulders. Enjoy this solid connection of the floor beneath you that's connected to the earth, that's beneath all of your fellow yogis right now. With every exhale, just let yourself sink in and relax. And I will ring a bell for us when we're done with Shavasana. So just rest. There's no more effort. Slowly allow your breath to deepen and let some movement return back into your toes and your fingers. On your next inhale, extend your legs out nice and long and reach your arms up overhead. Maybe you can even reach your fingertips to the floor behind you for one long final stretch. And then hug your knees in towards your chest as you roll onto your right side, feeling this connection between the right side of your body and the floor. Gently take your time as you work your way up to a seat with your eyes closed. And sit up nice and tall as we did in the beginning. When you find that seat, make a connection between your palms, bringing them to prayer in front of your heart. I'm so happy that you took the time to come and practice tonight. I'm hoping that you found maybe some connections that you needed. Maybe it's to yourself, maybe it's to your mind or your breath. I'm hoping you're feeling a little bit better at the end of this practice compared to the beginning. We will close tonight by chanting the sound of Om together, that final connection, and we'll chant it one time, as softly or as loudly as you'd like. Full exhale. and an inhale for Om. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you with great respect. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to class tonight. Thanks so much to the OLLI folks for making this happen. Stay tuned for what next week will look like, but be well, take care of yourselves, and stay connected. Thank you.